There's an old saying, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he eats forever. But nobody ever told me what happens when a woman has nothing. No fish, no rod, no river. Just 2 hungry children, 1 empty kitchen, and 1 old pot. Let me tell you about Mama. Her name was Zara. She lived in a small town where everybody knew everybody. Her husband, Tarek, was a kind and hard-working man. He drove a small truck, delivered goods from village to village, and came home every evening smelling of dust and diesel. Their life was not rich, but it was warm. They had a small house, a small garden, and 2 children, Sarah, who was 14, and little Hamza, who was only 7. Then one morning, Tarek did not come home. There was an accident on the mountain road. A sharp turn, a rainy night, and darkness. Just like that, the warmth was gone. The house felt bigger, but emptier. The garden stopped being tended. And Zara, who had always been the heart of the home, now had to become its hands too. Neighbors came the first week. They brought food, kind words, and soft eyes full of pity. But the second week, they were busy again. The third week, they forgot. And Zara understood something quietly. The world does not stop for your grief. You have to keep moving, even when your legs feel like stone. She checked the money Tarek had left. It was enough for maybe 2 months. She looked at her children. Sarah was sitting in the corner, staring at the wall. Hamza was drawing on a piece of paper, pretending everything was fine the way only children can. Zara took a deep breath. She wiped her eyes. She walked into the kitchen. She had no plan. She had no big idea. She only had one thing, her mother's recipe for lentil soup. It was a simple recipe. Red lentils, onion, cumin, a little lemon. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. But when Zara cooked it, something happened. The smell filled the house. It crept under the doors and floated into the street. It was a smell of warmth, of home, of someone's mother cooking with love. Old Mr. Hassan from next door knocked on the door that evening. "Zara," he said softly, "I could smell your cooking from my house. My wife is unwell, and I have not had a proper meal in days. Could I buy a bowl?" Zara was surprised. She almost said no, but she looked at Hamza's thin face and said yes. That was the first bowl she ever sold. Sarah was not happy. She was 14 and she felt everything deeply. The sadness, the shame, the fear. When she saw her mother packing soup into containers the next morning, she crossed her arms and said, "Mama, what are you doing? What will people say? We are not shopkeepers." Zara did not argue. She placed a container in Sarah's hands and said gently, "Carry this to Mrs. Fatima at the end of the road. She ordered one yesterday." Sarah's face turned red, but she went. That evening, Sarah came back. Mrs. Fatima had said the soup was the best she had ever tasted. She had already told 2 neighbors. Sarah sat down quietly at dinner and did not complain again. Word spread the way only good food can spread, fast and far. Within 2 weeks, Zara was cooking every morning. Within a month, she had 12 regular customers. Within 3 months, she had to wake up at 5 in the morning to keep up with orders. She bought more lentils, more spices, more containers. She kept a small notebook, just like a real businesswoman, writing every sale, every expense, every coin earned. Hamza became her little helper. He washed the containers, stacked them by the door, and counted orders on his fingers. He was only 7, but he was serious about his job. Every evening he would report to Zara, "Mama, today we sold 19 bowls. Yesterday was only 16. We are growing." Zara would laugh and hug him tight. But life does not let you grow without testing you first. One cold winter, the price of lentils went up. Then the gas bill doubled. Then Sarah got sick, and the doctor's fee took everything Zara had saved that month. She sat at the kitchen table late one night, her notebook open, her pen still. The numbers were not adding up. She felt the old fear creeping back. The same fear from the night Tarek did not come home. She almost stopped. She almost told herself it was too hard. But then she heard Hamza coughing in the next room, and she thought, if I stop, what happens to them? She closed a notebook. She went to sleep. In the morning, she woke up and cooked. That is the thing about a mother's love. It does not wait for easy days. She started adding a second dish, simple rice with herbs, then a small bread on the side. Her menu grew one item at a time. She raised her prices slowly, fairly. Customers did not leave because the food was made with something money cannot buy. It was made with a story, and people could taste it. Zara, who had once been ashamed, was now the one telling customers at the door, today Mama made something special. She helped with packaging, with accounts, with delivery on weekends. The girl who once crossed her arms in embarrassment was now proud. Quietly, deeply, truly proud. 3 years passed. Zara's small kitchen business had grown into something she never planned and never imagined. She had 4 women from the neighborhood working with her. She supplied food to a small local office twice a week. She had moved her little notebook to a proper file, and she had saved enough to fix the roof. The same roof that had leaked on the night of Tarek's funeral, while she sat in the dark and wondered how she would survive. One evening, Zara sat beside her mother in the kitchen after work. She looked around at the pots, the containers, the little file of accounts, and she said quietly, Mama, I was wrong. I was ashamed of you, but you were never ashamed of yourself. How? Zara stirred the pot slowly and said, because I was not doing it for people to watch. I was doing it for you and Hamza. When your reason is strong enough, shame has no room. Zara rested her head on her mother's shoulder. Neither of them said anything more. The soup simmered. The kitchen was warm. Hamza grew up and studied business. His first lesson, he always told people, was not from any university. It was from watching his mother write numbers in a small notebook at 5 in the morning. Zara became a chef, a real one, trained and certified. Her first dish on every new menu was always the same: red lentil soup. Simple, honest, powerful. And Zara, she never opened a big restaurant. She never became famous. But every person who ever ate her food remembered it, not because it was fancy, but because it was made by a woman who had nothing except a skill, a pot, and a love so strong it fed an entire family for a lifetime. She used to say to anyone who would listen, do not wait for someone to save you. Look at your hands. Look at what you know. Even the smallest skill used with honesty and patience can feed not just you, but everyone you love. And she was right. She always was.